Alright guys, today is the day I'm gonna firing up my tractor. What I did overnight is to recharge the battery with the battery charger. I plugged in everything. The first spark plug is hooked with the spark tester. Everything is good. Battery is already charged, but I just put it on a start engine in 10 seconds. So what is not connected is the temperature gauge and the hydraulic cable for the tachometer. Other than that, everything is good to go. Fuel is in the tank, fuel line is connected. I did not do anything with the carburetor as it was before I started unassembling it. Radiator is hooked but doesn't have any water or coolant inside. I just want to make a quick test. If it starts, then I will proceed. So that's all. Alrighty, it's working. Hey guys, I was checking the oil pressure gauge and it was showing off the chart, and I was wondering why. One possibility is, which I will figure out after installing the new oil pressure gauge, but this one is the old one I'm trying to use, and it was showing more than 80 or off the chart. So but what I found is right here, right here I see oil is leaking, and it's a good amount of oil, like not a lot, but I think a plug needs to be there. I did not put, so it was a good start. However, I need to make sure every plug is plugged. Alright guys, this video is very specific for Pertronix electronic ignition, which I install on this distributor on this tractor. So just to give you a quick video how it works, how do you align the timing is, first you crank the engine with hands from this socket bar system you can see. So this is the pulley where you can attach. So some tractors come with a notched bolt which is meant to be cranked by a special tool for cranking tool by hand, but this one has a regular bolt, which I am actually cranking with the socket. So what you need to do is crank it and bring the crankshaft on 4 degree like this. So if you see silver line lying with the notch on the hole, inspection hole or port, so both are aligned. My hands is shaking, so let me do one thing. So this is maximum zoom. So this is at 4 degree, and what you do is, it's a $3 tool to check the spark. What I did, I put it on the first cylinder's spark plug cable, and if you see this, it is attached to the cable, and my distributor, this one is number 1, and my rotor is basically aligning with like this, pointing to this first cylinder spark plug. And why I'm sure is basically here I crank it and align with the 4 degree advance, and the way I set it up my distributor, the rotor is basically like 45 or 65, I think, if I stand 90 degree on the block. So rotor is pointing this, right now is about to spark. And what you do is you lose those retaining bolts on the side of the distributor, so distributor can be rotated left and right, and I will show you how I can precisely, more close to precisely align with my distributor, so it will spark. So what I will do now, I will rotate it left or right and see where it is spark, and I will land by approximation at the place, or leave the distributor on a place where it is spark, maybe left or right. So if you see this, it's going to spark. Okay, so I need to turn off my flashlight so you can see. Okay, it did. I don't know if you can see it on here. See, now it is spark. I'll do one more time. Yes, that's where I'm going to set my distributor. And then I don't have good knowledge about like how to do the idle setup. As you know, this throttle shaft, I do not remember the correct name of this plate. This plate, this one is I think I put grease on it, so it's like slipping. It's supposed to have some friction, so wherever you leave this throttle shaft, it should stay there while you are operating the tractor. But I made a mistake, so I have to do it some cleanup and keep it dry, not the lubricant. So then I will do this setup later, and I will get back to you. I hope you like this video, guys. This is the third day or fourth day after assembling and starting the engine first time. Today I just made sure everything is intact and secure. I flushed the water from the radiator today and put the coolant in the radiator. I also put the thermometer, the temperature gauge, as well as I put the amp meter was working. I also double check the pressure gauge, And I also fixed this throttle or governor disc plate. This is star type friction disc which hold the throttle shaft on a place wherever you use this throttle lever. I've replaced this spring. I've used a softer spring than the harder one I have. The original one was broken before I unassembled it, so I ordered it. The one I ordered was a perfect match, but it was too hard. It was pulling the throttle shaft or link. That basically increases speed. This one is softer, so I have to see what is the behavior after using it. However, there is a setback today. As you can see, I'm going to zoom in right under the engine and transmission. If you see, there is a puddle of oil, and this oil is leaking right from this side. It's leaking. If you see, oil is leaking. It is leaking right here from the plate which separates the transmission from the engine. So this is the engine side is leaking between the engine and the plate, adapter plate. So I believe the rear main bearing seal has leaked badly. So it's a good amount of puddle. So I drove like 50 foot today from the garage. I went outside and brought it back, but I was actually standing for a few minutes outside the garage and it created a trail of oil. And I can show you for 5 minutes standing on the ground, that much oil it leaked. So definitely the engine seal has leaked. The other thing is, if you notice, I was using the gauge, oil pressure gauge, or the old one, and when on half throttle it was above 60 or almost 80. So I believe the gauge, I tested the gauge today again, just the gauge with the bicycle air pump, and when gauge was showing 40, the pump gauge was showing 35, so it was like 5 degree Fahrenheit off, either this gauge or the pump. But there was a difference, but not much. So still, if its gauge was showing 75, it means it was 70 at least since day one. So I'm concluding, I'm thinking that rear main seal has leaked for some reason because it was creating too much pressure, and I suspect the pressure was building by the rope seal I installed. So I believe this rope seal needs to be removed in order for me to fix the, so to stop this oil leak, I have to unfortunately remove the engine block from the tractor again and remove this rope seal and put it back again. It's a little setback, but I think this is how it's going to be fixed. Other than that, I think everything is working except this oil leak, and oil leak is a big thing. I cannot let it run. I also installed the temperature gauge today, and I tested it with hot tap water from my water heater, and it was working. So if I show you the orange part close, not at the end of the orange part, on the right side of the orange part, not going the white line, crossing the white line, staying at the end of the orange line, it is 100 degree Fahrenheit using the I believe the temperature from the tap water or water heater. So in short, the temperature gauge was working, but I believe it took time for temperature gauge to or the tractor engine to warm up. Now it's warmed, and I have this this gun, laser temperature gun. Engine block is 116 right now. Radiator is 143. Engine block this side is 104. Intake manifold 210. Exhaust manifold 288. But when I was running the tractor and I tested it, it was above 500 Fahrenheit. So these were temperature. Now it's stopped, and it's like 10 minutes ago I stopped it, so it's cooling down rapidly. So in short, I have a work to do. I'm gonna unassemble it all the way, and that's how it's going to be. So folks, stay tuned. I will get back. Bye.